I wasn't sure I'd be able to squeeze this in, but I've got the time. The Yonko Saga is the longest saga in One Piece's history, picking up right where Dressrosa left off at chapter 801, and will carry on well past chapter 1000. As this saga is still ongoing, this review might feel a little incomplete, but I'd rather this video feel incomplete than leave my One Piece video series incomplete for another year. It all starts with Zou, one of the most underrated arcs. Similar to Logtown, this arc pulls double duty as an epilogue for Dressrosa and a prologue to Wano. We learn about the road poneglyphs that are required to find the One Piece, we get our first look at Kaido's crew, we learn what Caesar Clown's poison was used for, and more importantly, we learn what happened to the Straw Hat crew members that left Dressrosa a third of the way through that arc. There's not a lot of meat in this arc on its own. It mostly just builds on the lore of the series and sets up the more involved Whole Cake Island and Wano arcs, which is where the shit really starts to pop off. The main reason I love this arc so much is the setting. Zou may be my favorite location in the series. It's an ancient untapped forest filled with furries riding on the back of a giant mountain-sized elephant. This is the kind of thing I would have never thought of, and Oda brings it to life with frustrating ease. Whole Cake Island isn't as good of a setting, but it's a far better arc and hands down the best arc post-time skip. Sanji is in the clutches of Big Mom, and Luffy leads a team of everyone who didn't get any action during Dressrosa to save him. I'm a sucker for these arcs. This is the third time One Piece has pulled this, and while it's not as effective as Nami in Arlong Park or Robin in Enies Lobby, it still works. It's a complex arc with a lot of gears turning. You have Luffy doing his usual thing, plus you have Jinbei returning, trying to keep his crew safe and help Luffy at the same time. Then you have Big Mom's massive crew of powerful paramecia fruit users. You have Sanji's family in the Germa 66. Oh, and you have Capone Gang Beige planning to assassinate Big Mom, several of Big Mom's children having second thoughts about things, and the real star of this arc. Charlotte Katakuri is a freaking badass, the best antagonist in the series, and the first one that truly serves as a reflection of Luffy. They both are fiercely loyal to their crew and willing to go all out to protect them, and their fight is one of the best fights I've seen in any media. Even the terrible pacing plaguing the anime couldn't bring it down. After Whole Cake and during Wano, we got some sprinkles of what's going on in the wider world. It's created this feeling that we're approaching the endgame. For instance, finally, after all these years, we have the bounty poster for Gold D. Rogers, and with it, a final perceived power ceiling. We still have a long way to go, but the end is more in sight now than ever. Sadly, the actual Reverie arc is kinda lame. It's full of these big twists like the existence of Eam and the giant Straw Hat, Luffy's bounty, and the revolutionaries approaching. But it's all cut between big flashbacks reminding us of who these characters are, like Rob Lucci was cool and all, and it makes perfect sense that he'd still be around and working for the CPs. I just don't care about what he might do later. Either he's going to fight Luffy and lose again, or he's going to fight someone else and the fight won't matter as much. This is the downside to having characters fulfill plot beats rather than their own interpersonal arcs. Even if those plot beats are amazing, there's still going to be something hollow about it. Which brings me to Wano, nearly 90 chapters into this arc as I record this, and I can at least say for certain that it has examples of some of Oda's best writing tendencies and some of his worst. The action has been on point. The two amassing armies seem evenly matched, making everything dramatic and dire and cathartic all at once. Oda is doing a better job explaining Haki than he did before. The extensive flashback was a lot of fun, though it ran a little long. Queen is a wonderfully entertaining intermediate villain. Kaido's crew in general is just as fun as Big Mom's, and it's so satisfying seeing the Straw Hats finally standing and fighting side by side together for the first time since Fishman Island. And back then it was just a bunch of nameless goons. Here they're working together to fight Kaido, Big Mom, and everyone else. But therein also lies the problem, as there have been some instances of it collapsing under its own weight. There's a lot of punk hazard in here where they'll cut away from the action and then come back to that fight later and things have changed, and then they'll have to explain what happened in between. And it really bothers me because I do think Oda is better than this, but this is a trap he's been falling into a lot lately. How this arc will end and when will we get answers to all those pressing questions lingering around the rest of the world, who knows. But when Luffy survives this arc, he'll be that much closer to the One Piece and the final saga in the series. And I look forward to talking about all that in depth sometime before all my nieces go to college. I'm Mediocrity4, thanks for watching.